guys, it is another episode of the Knudson Garden Update, and today I'm very excited. We're going to be working in the classroom for our garden update, and the reason is because we're going to plant potatoes today. So, what kind of seed would you plant to get potatoes? You plant certified seed potatoes. We're going to plant some Norland seed potatoes, but first, we're going to need to suberize them. So we're going to talk about that here in a minute, and we're going to show you how it's done. All right, so what is a seed potato? Well, a seed potato is just a potato that you plant in the ground. It's not actually a seed. It's a tuber. So potatoes can reproduce in a couple of ways. One way is via seeds. They do produce seeds. But another way that they reproduce is by producing these tubers in their roots. That's why you see all this dirt on a potato. We actually dig potatoes up out of the ground when we harvest them. And when we want to plant new potatoes, we take these potatoes and then we plant them again. And see all of these little buds that are forming on them? They are going to grow the new stems and leaves for the plant that you see above ground. All right? So what does it mean to suberize a potato? Well, we're actually going to cut these in half. So we're going to take these potatoes, and this is a very simple kind of cloning. All right, we're going to take our potatoes, we're going to cut them up so that each potato can make a clone. So you've got one potato now. If I cut it up into 2 or even 3 pieces, I'll have 3 clones or 2 clones of my potato. So how does that all work? Let's take a look. The first thing we want to do is make sure that we have buds in at least 2 or 3 places on the parts of the potato that we want to cut up. So this chunk right here, that's a good chunk to cut. It's got a good 3 buds. We've got a few more buds here and here and here. So I think to clone this potato, I'm actually just gonna cut it in half, all right? So I'll take my knife here and I'll make a good clean cut through the middle of the potato, and then we'll have 2 potato halves. All right, so now we've got our 2 potato halves. Each half has multiple little buds that potato stems can grow out of. In fact, if we wanted, I think we could probably cut this in half. I'm just gonna leave it like it is, all right? And on this other half, we've got a couple of little buds throughout. That should be enough. We got 3 buds, all right? But now we've got this kind of wet interior. And if we were to just plant this right now, the potato would be subject to fungal infections and other infections from bacteria in the ground. So what we're actually gonna do is cause some suberization to happen, where the cell walls of this cut portion harden up so that there's a protective barrier so that fungi and bacteria don't infiltrate our potato before it's planted, all right? So we're actually just going to lay these out on paper towels here to dry for the next few days. This is a 3-day weekend, so we'll let them dry over the weekend and suberize. And I've got this big sack of seed potatoes here, and we're just gonna cut them all up. That way, instead of having 1 potato plant that we can grow from each potato, we've got 2 potato clone plants that we can grow, all right? So let's take some time and cut these up. All right, so today's the day to plant our potatoes. We got some nice eyes growing out. They've hardened. We've got that protective layer, so we shouldn't have a lot of fungal growth. All right. So hooray, potato clones. Matter.
As long as you touch it.
Well, I mean, plant it by some water, Nyla.
Yeah.
All right, we got all of our potatoes planted, so that'll wrap up another episode of the Knudson Garden Update. We're gonna wait on these potatoes here. I got another potato volunteer from last year. Looks like we didn't harvest quite all the potatoes last spring, so we had one that stuck around and decided to make its own plant. So it'll have some friends now. We got about 50, 60 potatoes planted, so hopefully we get a good harvest here in usually May when they're ready. So when the flowers come and the leaves start turning yellow, that's about the time you harvest your potatoes. So that should come around the end of the school year. So have a good break, eat some good food, stay safe, and we'll post another update here soon. Bye-bye.